what I eat in a day on the carnivore diet.
I'm a pastor, an entrepreneur, a world traveler, and a martial artist. But most importantly, I'm a devoted husband and dad with an amazing family. And the older I get, the more I realize the importance of being healthy so that I can be all that I can and should for my family. I haven't always been healthy though. In fact, I've struggled with my weight for a lot of my life. But in recent years, I found some great success in my weight loss and fitness journey living a lower carbohydrate lifestyle, particularly that of the keto and carnivore variety. Follow me on my journey as I continue to explore and share the benefits of living the low-carb lifestyle.
This is everything I eat in a day on the carnivore diet. Currently, I'm doing 2 meals a day, and I'm a busy dad, entrepreneur, and professional. But like you, I'm trying to get back into shape, and I'm trying to stay there. And spoiler alert, yes, there's a lot of meat, a lot of protein on this diet, and it's awesome. Hey, what's going on there, friends? It's Jason Ligo here again with the Low Carb Lifestyle. And in this video, I want to show you exactly what a day in the life looks like in terms of the meals that I'm eating. Currently, I'm doing 2 meals a day, depending on how hard my workouts go. And there's no fluff here, there's no gimmicks, just what a realistic day looks like on the carnivore diet for me. And just keeping in mind that this is exactly what I'm doing to reclaim my health, regain my strength, get back into shape, and it really fuels my family life. Okay, so currently I'm doing about 2 meals a day. And honestly, sometimes it's 1 to 2 meals, right? It really just depends on how hard I go workout-wise. So here's what I mean. It really comes down to how many workouts I'm doing per day, or if it's a rest day. Now, when I say workouts, it's actually 2 different things represented there. The first type of workout that I'm referring to is kind of what you would perceive as your standard workout, time in the gym, right? And so for me, that's swinging heavy kettlebells, that's resistance training, that's weights. I'm a big functional strength and kettlebell user, so when I'm working out in the gym, that's what I'm doing. But when I also say workouts, the other thing I'm referring to is training martial arts, right? I've gotten back into training, maybe looking at competing one day, I don't know, but it's been great getting back to doing martial arts, and right now I'm currently doing it with my boys. And so with my little boys coming up, wanting to compete and learn and all that stuff, it's been great to train with them. And thankfully, the academy that we belong to, we go pretty hard, right? We do a lot of calisthenics, we do a lot of conditioning, and we do a lot of hard sparring, right? A lot of active rolling with each other. And so that really is a workout in and of itself. If you've never done martial arts, if you've never done grappling in particular, things like wrestling, jiu-jitsu, make sure you give it a try. It's a great workout. So really, it just depends on how hard I go. Some days I will do what I call a 2-a-day, right? I will get up and I'll do weights in the morning or weights mid-morning, and then I'll go train at night and do martial arts. Some days I will just do 1. It really just kind of depends, especially since I also have a job, right? I've got a career, I've got a calling, I got things that I do. So it really just depends when I can get in. With that said, the meals that I have and how many I have really is going to depend on that. So again, depending on how hard I go, I may just have 1 meal a day and it's pretty large, or I might have 2. So let's go ahead and establish just a couple things here. First of all, what am I drinking around this time, right? Currently, I don't drink a whole lot. I drink basically 4 different types of things, and I don't deviate from these much at all. Obviously, I drink water. I drink a lot of good water. I drink coffee, and for me, coffee is usually just black coffee. Once in a while, I might have something with some cream in it, but most of the time, it's just straight black coffee for me. I usually have 2 to 3 cups a day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the mid-morning, maybe 1 in the afternoon before I work out, but that really is it. And then aside from that, I will have electrolytes, right? So, 3 or 4 things that I'm drinking, that's pretty much it. And when I have the electrolytes, I don't drink that as a standalone beverage. I will drink the electrolytes usually because I am dehydrated after I work out. So I'll sip it while I work out or have some after I work out, but that's it. It's not like I'm drinking that along with my meals, right? The other thing that I drink is sparkling water, and that's it. So no sodas, no fluff. I just drink water, coffee, electrolytes, and sparkling water. And that's pretty much it when it comes to what I drink. Okay, so let's talk about the meals, right? First of all, my first meal of the day, I am incorporating some intermittent fasting. My feeding window is not that huge, but again, depending on where my workouts fall, I try to eat after my workout or slightly before it. So when it comes to my first meal of the day, it will depend on when my workout is. But usually, by and large, I'm able to hold out on my first meal until at least mid-morning. And honestly, these days, I try to push it till after lunchtime. So that will be my breakfast. That's when I break my fast, is usually somewhere between 12 and 2 o'clock. These days, I feel like it's between 12 and 1, and that seems to work for me. By that time of the day, I've gotten in a lot of good productive work in the morning, and I'm ready to have my first workout. Okay, so whether I'm working out in the gym or at the academy doing martial arts, I'm usually primed and ready for my first meal. And generally speaking, what does my first meal look like? Well, it looks like a lot like this, right? It looks like your typical breakfast, right? What you would call breakfast food, because it's true, I am breaking my fast. So in this case, you're going to see, a few eggs, you're going to see some bacon, and you're going to see some breakfast sausage. Okay, it's a delicious meal. Sometimes I'll have this with coffee, or I'll have it with sparkling water. But there you go. There's a lot of good fat and protein here to fuel me until later on. And quick tip, by the way, don't be afraid of salt, right? Do not be afraid of salt whatsoever. I season heavily and I season aggressively. On Carnivore, salt is one of the best things that you want to make sure that you have and don't forget about, particularly because it helps you with electrolytes. But more importantly for me, I don't like bland food, right? I really like to taste my food, and salt helps you do that. Okay, meal two. Meal two will happen again in the, again, depending on when my workouts fall, but it'll happen in the late afternoon or the early evening. I rarely eat late these days, but again, if I'm working out super late, then maybe I'll have it. It really just depends. My body will tell me if I'm craving some food or some protein after a workout. So meal two is also all about keeping it simple, right? In this case, we've got steak and eggs, right? Steak and eggs, and you can see it's not a small steak. It's a pretty decent sized steak, and I'll usually have a couple of eggs with it because I do like eggs. I usually will cook the eggs in butter, unless it's the first example, or sometimes I will actually cook the eggs in the bacon grease, which I absolutely love. There's a lot of good flavor there. But there you go, steak and eggs. It's delicious, it's well seasoned, and it keeps me full until the next time that I break my fast, which is usually going to be some 12 or 14 hours later, right? It carries me through the night until the next day. And I like my steak medium rare. I like it kind of mooing, but that really doesn't matter. Have your steak how you like it, but that's what I do. I like a little bit of pink, a little bit of blush, and that's good for me. It's delicious. Okay, now let me go ahead and just give you kind of a note of relatability here. The key here that you're seeing for me is that I don't have time to waste. I don't have time to complicate things. I want to keep it simple. Complicated recipes is just not something that I can do if I'm wanting to stick to this particular diet and lifestyle. So this is fast, it's filling, and it gives me the energy that I need to carry me throughout my projects for the rest of the day and as I go along spending time with my family. So that's it, my friends. Here's just an example of two simple, easy meals that I like to enjoy on a typical carnivore diet day for me. And again, you see that they're fast, they're simple, but they're also full of plenty of nutrients, and there's zero processed carbs here, zero sugar. That's the way you want to go. Now, if you're thinking about trying carnivore, I want to encourage you to keep it simple like this, because you also notice that these are delicious foods. I'm not really hurting myself here. I'm not putting myself through any torture by eating stuff I don't want to eat. I enjoy this food. This food is actually good and it's filling. Again, it comes at the cost of not having carbs and processed junk, but that's what we want to get away from, right? Because using this diet, I've actually been able to lose a significant amount of weight so far. More importantly, my body is reshaping and recomposing itself in a tremendous way. It seems to fuel my workouts in such a way where even though I'm not losing a ton of weight per se, it seems like it's redistributing my weight to muscle and it just looks better, right? Have a look for yourself. But yeah, keep it simple like this, and I promise you'll be surprised with how easy it is to stick with it. All right, my friends, hopefully you found this helpful and insightful. If you'd like to follow me on my carnivore journey, I would love to have you tag along. Make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any more hot new content that I got coming down the pipe just for you. Also, please let me know in the comments, what is your favorite carnivore meal? I'm dying to know. This is Jason Ligo with The Low Carb Lifestyle. I'll talk to you next time, my friends.